So listen, just before we get to our first guest, Steve Gennaro, got to get a couple things off my chest. It is important. On the eve or on less than 48 hours away from the first playoff game in a home history for TFC and in their franchise, we've got to get a couple things straight here. Greg Vanney, 2 years back-to-back in the playoffs. Well done by head coach Greg Vanney. And a lot of credit, once again, has got to go to Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment and the wonderful fans, so many supporters groups, Inebriati, Red Patch Boys, USEC, on and on and on. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful supporters groups, wonderful fans, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, Larry Tannenbaum. God bless you, Larry. You never say anything. You just sign those checks, and you want to see a winner in this city, whether it's the Leafs, whether it's TFC. It doesn't matter. Even if it's the Raptors, you want to see a winner here in this city. But I've got to get something straight here. Some of the media out there today are tweeting that even with a possible loss or an early exit to Philly, that it's still considered a successful season. Are you out of your mind? Have you fallen off your rocker? Has the turnip truck turned over with you in it? I can't understand that. How will this be a success if you lose to Philly and your exit? I would find it an absolute disaster, a colossal disaster, a failure of failures. This team here, with the 3 DPs they have, the money that Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment has invested in these 3 DPs and in this team, should at least, at minimum, get by Philly. And then everything after that, we can discuss. But if you lose to Philly and you can use the word successful, you know nothing about the game. You have not properly analyzed and watched this team and this organization, the way they've dealt with things and the way they've dished out money and they've kept their mouth shut. It will not be a success. Let me repeat it again in plain English. It will not be a successful year for TFC if they lose to Philly. It will not be. So now it's time for the players to have a look in the mirror. I have a lot of time for a lot of those players on that team, a lot of them, especially with the captain, Michael Bradley, the leader. Then Jovinko, the MVP. Josie has rectified things early on that weren't going well. He had a wonderful finish to his season. But hey, the buck stops with those 3 guys that I mentioned, and also with Drew Moore. Love Drew Moore. But hey, Drew, they brought you over here for a certain reason, to make sure that back end is solid like a brick cement wall. Hey, Clint Irwin, the same thing for you. There has been unbelievable failure in that position, goalkeeper position, for this team and this franchise year after year after year. They brought you in here to seal that up, to give the players in front of you confidence. And I believe you've done that for most of the year. So now it's time for these guys. Steven Beitashour, you're in that mix too. You guys have to show up. You guys have to look in the mirror and say to yourselves, hold on a second here. President Bill Manning, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, and why not? Let's give him a little bit of credit too. Tim Bazbachenko brought you over here for a reason. To win, to change the culture, to get to the promised land, to get rid of the excuses. Well, now it's your turn. It's your turn. Stand up, man up, show up. The city is all yours right now to grab and take hold of. The Jays are out. Now it's your turn. The buck always can't stop with the head coach, Greg Vanney. All he can do is write down the starting lineup and put the guys that are on the bench. And then it's up to you guys to lace up the boots, to put on the jerseys, to leave it all out there for 90 minutes plus to get the result. Simple as that. Simple as that.